this type of lions, you know what we're talking about. You got to the top, you have arrived, you just get a bed and sleep. Please, let's make it a this one. As we laugh, let's make it. Please. Distinguished guests, thank you very much. I would like to
Thank you so much. Oh my God. It was a lot. A lot of learning, a lot of laughter in between, and a lot of eye-opening. Thank you so much for that. Good evening, Nigeria and the world. My name is Guinness World Records, and I'm happy to be here again. This time around, I'm here to shake tables again. Yes, because so far it's been more of call to action in different aspects. So I'm here to talk about another thing and make another call to action. I'm here to be a mouthpiece to a set of people who have been mostly talked about, but no one has spoken for them. I'm here to talk about some people that carry a lot of burdens. They go through a lot of things, but the society does not seem to understand or even appreciate what they go through or the burdens that they carry. I'm here to talk about a particular set of people that the society sees as disadvantaged. The title of my speech tonight is The Forgotten Strength, protecting the rights of single parents and their children. And when we talk about single parents, most people, the first thing that comes to your mind is single mothers. Probably people who give birth to children out of wedlock, or people who were irresponsible enough not to stay in their because that's the picture of the society. And that is why I'm here today. When you talk about single parents, we have a lot of people to be single fathers, single mothers, but mostly I want to talk about single mothers. Here speak about the plight of a woman, and we have an understanding of what women go through all around the world, especially in Nigeria, but not limited to Nigeria. And that's why, as a result of some of the things women go through, when you see a single father or a single mother, the single mother is made to go through worse. Not that most times the stigmatization, it falls more on the women folk than the men folk. And that is why I am here to speak about the single mothers mostly today. And not just the single mothers, but also the children they raise. The stigma they have to go through, the silent resilience that they have to bear, the responsibilities that they have to bear that is unspoken to the world. Children that their brilliance is supposed to be identified or even recognized. Children whose rights are supposed to be protected. Children whose future are supposed to be invested into. But instead, they get the opposite. Let's look at the silent resilience of the single are women that do the work of two people. They carry the burden of two. They support the family, their children, basically, emotionally, financially, socially, psychologically, even spiritually. These are women that do jobs of 2 or 3 people. They combine jobs just to support their children, ensure that they are fine. These are women that, despite the work that they have to go through, they have to build their career, build their own life. Some even go to school while trying to take care of children. These same women, after all this, still make time to be there for the children, to raise them. They still have to reserve the energy that has been used up already in trying to make money, to be the mother in the home. We see a lot of market women. There was a time I once mentioned here. I was in a market one day and I was with a friend. We just stood in the middle of the market and we went to buy something and my friend just suddenly stopped. He said, "Wait, take a look around." And I actually took a look around. But I didn't get what he wanted me to see. He said something. He said, "Do you notice that we have more of women in this market right now?" Now, it's not just because they are market women. No. Because we know that in the African culture, before the era of white collar jobs, we have more of people who go into businesses. The Africans believe in business. So it's not just because they are women, that's why they are market women. No. And he asked me a question. He said, "Why do you think we have more of women here? Can you guess where their husbands would be right now?" So some of their husbands would be at beer parlors. Some would be going up and down with prostitutes. Some will be lazing at home, waiting for the woman to bring the money home. And I stood there in the middle of the market and I was like, oh my God, this is an eye-opener. And I actually stood and looked around again. And the sight that I saw was that of elderly women struggling to make ends meet. Young women hustling like their life depends on it. But the irony of it, they are not all single. Some of them are widowed. And they are left to cater for their children. In some cases, there are some that their husbands actually left inheritance for them to help take care of the children. But what has happened to those inheritance? It has been taken away by the family. All in the name of tradition. We see single mothers. Some probably as a victim of circumstance. Some became single mothers not of their own accord, but probably because they were raped and the society did not come to their rescue, and they have to bear the pain of being raped and still bear the pain of raising a child, and yet have not allowed their bitterness overshadow them from the responsibility they have to bear. We have some that became a single mother simply because they decided that the violence they have gone through or they have been going through in their marriages was enough, and they have now decided to stand up for themselves. But instead of having to fight back, they chose peace and they chose to walk away. And we have some who are falling into this category out of their own personal choice. They have decided, I don't want to go through the stress of marriage. I would rather just raise my child, and I think I will be fine. I'm not here to judge anybody about whether how they've gotten into the circle of being a single parent or not. But like I said earlier, this is a core, because like the previous speaker said, we are all first humans, and that's why we need to begin to look at everyone with empathy and not just judge. When we talk about the silent resilience that single parents or single mothers have to go through, like I said earlier, it's not just Nigeria. It's not just Nigeria. In the US, we have single mothers who have to combine jobs. Some combine schooling with multiple jobs just to make ends meet, just to ensure that they're able to take care of themselves, take care of their children. In India, we have women who have been widowed and go through financial hardship, social isolation, just because they have been widowed, and they have to stand up on their own feet to ensure that their children do not suffer. In Brazil, we have women, single women, who probably out of having absent husbands, have to stand up to ensure that their children don't fall into gang violence, to ensure that despite the society they find themselves, their children don't fall into the same consequence that they find around them. In Ukraine, we've seen so many women who have become single women or about to even become single women, and even in Iran, in the US, simply because of the war that is ongoing. Some husbands have had to go to war, and the women have been thrown into the circle of single parenthood. I need us to understand that single women are not broken. They are not weak. They are not failures. Instead, they are a proof of what love looks like in motion. You see a woman that puts everything that concerns her life on hold just because some children have to be fine. If we even want to look at it, either spiritually or culturally, the responsibility of raising a child does not fall on a woman. It is the responsibility of a man. But these women have not thought about it, that this is not my job. Instead, they have been selfless to ensure that these children are raised in the proper way that they should be raised. I've talked about some that have to leave abusive homes, some that have had to escape early marriages. It takes a lot of courage to make this choice. Especially some have had to leave even for the safety of their children. I know someone who had to leave a home and become a single mother. Despite the violence she was facing in her marriage, she did not leave because she felt that was the best for her children. She wanted to give them a safe abode to grow up in. So she chose to stay. But then it got to a level whereby the upbringing of the children was at stake. The proper upbringing was at stake. The children were at the verge of being converted negatively by the person they call their father. And she decided it was time to leave. Not because she was tired of enduring, but because for the safety of her children, it was time to leave. Women who have been abandoned, yet they refuse to abandon their dreams. It takes a lot to rise after falling so hard. Most of these women are women that have fallen so hard. They have hit the ground so hard. It takes a lot for them to dust themselves and lift themselves up. If only the society can pay attention to listen, each of their story is a story of courage, a story of resilience, a story of strength. And that was why I said they are not weak. Ijoma Umebuyo says something. She said, you're not defined by the people who walked away. So these women have not, they've decided not to define themselves by the people who walk out of their lives. Instead, they have decided to create a niche, to create a path for themselves. We see the kind of society we live in today. This is a society that treats single mothers like they have committed a crime. I hear a lot of things going on social media. When people talk about, the moment they just hear that you are a single mother, even another woman that is a woman like yourself will look at you and say, oh, don't come to my house so that you don't come and collect my husband. We hear a lot of things. I once heard a colleague of mine say something, and he said, you know, something happened some time ago. Some of my colleagues were just discussing. One of them wanted to get married to a lady. The lady was a single mother. She had a child, but earlier in the relationship, she did not tell him. So later on, when she told him, he was confused. He now asked me, he said, what do you think I should do? So I told him, I said, one, I feel that she not telling you is very wrong. But then let's try to look at things from her own point of view. She must have told a lot of men before now, and they must have abandoned her simply because how many men want to take care of another person's child in this society that we find ourselves? And this is still something she told you later on, probably because she now decided that, okay, I think I can trust this person to not leave me. So I told him, I said, it is still your choice. I won't tell you what to do, but I think this is the reason why she has done this. But then the other person said, take care of another man's child. God forbid, I cannot do it. And I looked at the person. For crying out loud, you call yourself a Christian. I'm like, what is bad in taking care of another man's child? But then, as a man, if you had a child, probably from a previous marriage or out of wedlock, and you're a single father, you would expect to see a girl that would take care of your child. And if the girl does not want to stay to help you take care of your child, you tag her as she's not homely. But you can't do the same when it's yours. You know? I give my father kudos. My father married my mom with 2 children. She had to leave an abusive marriage. A marriage that she nearly lost her life. In fact, she had already decided she was not going to get married anymore. Until my father came along. But now, if not for the different surnames, most people do not even know we are step siblings. Because in my house, there's nothing like step. The step has been flattened. When my father wants to introduce the 2 children, you hear things like, this is my first son, meet my first daughter. My father would never say, meet my stepson. And if we the children want to introduce them, you hear things like, meet my big brother. meet my big sister. You will never hear meet my stepbrother, meet my stepsister. This is a man that introduced himself to the father of these children as their father. And sometimes we joke in my house, what effrontery, you have mine though. You went to the father of the children and said, good afternoon, sir. My name is Mr. Ogumefo. I am the father of your son. Your son, my son, our son. I'm like, you have mind. But he could do that because he is a father indeed. He was able to do that because he is indeed a father. And most people, in fact, almost everyone except we in the family, almost everyone did not know that he was not their father until the day their biological father died, and they had to bury the man. And they tell their friends, my father died, I'll be burying him by so time. And everyone was like, hey, is this man dead? This and that. You know, they call my dad Baba Sele. So is it Baba Sele? Say no, don't kill my dad. My dad is still alive. Say that is my dad. Say, so who are you talking about? Say, I'm talking about my father, the person that gave birth to me. The one you're talking about is my dad, the one that nursed me. That was the day I knew the difference between father and daddy. You can be a father, but not a daddy. Nowadays, we have a lot of fathers. The society stigmatizes the single parents, the single mothers, but forget to talk about the absent fathers. There's so many men out there who are living hale, hearty, but they're not carrying their responsibilities. But the society is not seeing them. And just like the previous speaker said, we need to begin to call out wrongs. We need to begin to call out wrongdoings and wrongdoers. This stigma has to end. We see cases of a landlord telling a single mother, I cannot rent my house to you until you go and get a man to come and sign for you. And if you ask them why, they will tell you, so that she will not turn my house into a brothel. Who says she's a prostitute? Simply because she's a single parent. In the street language, we say a single mother she no kill person. She's just a single mother. She didn't kill anyone. We see cases of society speaking, talking. When you begin to see this single mother begin to work hard, earning money, and you begin to say, who knows the aristo, the men she's following that are beginning to fund her lifestyle. Who says a woman cannot work hard and get her own money? Who says? Does she have to lie down flat for a man to sleep with her before she can get the money to take care of her children? She has a change of level, a change of lifestyle, a better living. And then you think that she must have done something immoral for her to be able to attain that. Do we ask men, what immoral thing have you done? Even when we know they've done immoral things, do we call them out? We don't. But because she's a single mother, you think she has become a footmat that you can just walk upon. We see schools judging the children from these homes harshly. Even the society has stereotyped them, that children from these homes, because the homes are broken, so the children too have to be broken. The children have to be stubborn. They have to be wayward. Forgetting that these children carry brilliance. These children also have a future. We say schools judge them harshly. Workplaces overlook single mothers for promotion. And when the HR will ask them, if you get this position, how would you take care of your children? This is a question they will not ask the men. So why ask the woman? So they are being overlooked for promotion. They judge them because they feel that because they have a broken home, then they cannot have their lives together. Someone that cannot keep a home or that cannot keep a life, how will she be able to keep a position? They are being boxed into the corner. Churches now shame them publicly. I heard a very popular singer said some time ago, when she came out to say she is a single mother, and she said she has been a single mother, as of then she said she has been a single mother for 7 years, but in those 7 years she was not allowed to share her story. According to her, she said the Holy Spirit did not allow her to share her story, that it wasn't time for her to share it. But she said something so powerful. She said if she had been allowed to share it as at when she wanted to share the story, she knew that the churches, the society that accepted her the way they have accepted her would not have accepted her. Now they see her as a powerful minister of God, a powerful singer, but they would not have accepted her. They would not have given her the opportunity to shine. They would not have given her the opportunity to even blossom. That opportunity would have been withdrawn the moment they know she is a single mother. That is the society we find ourselves. Some time ago, a popular singer died in an abusive marriage, and everyone began to wag their tongues. Why didn't she speak up? Why didn't she come out? Why didn't she do this? Why didn't she do that? But we've seen situations where women come out to speak out of abusive marriages, and we hear things like, she's a small child, she does not know what marriage is before going into the marriage. What does she know? She's a woman. A wise woman builds up her home, and a foolish woman tears it down. We hear things like this, and we use our words to beat them down. And when they don't speak up anymore, we come back to question them. Why are they not speaking? We need to stop this stigmatization. Extended families see them as burdens. We even see cultures who segregate them. They don't call. There's a family meeting going on, they don't call them because they believe that they are not part of the family anymore. Who is she? She's a woman that could not keep her life. What say does she have here? Now what do you expect from that kind of woman whose life has been tossed up and down by challenges, and the only place where she's supposed to find solace, which is in the society and even in the family, in the churches, there is no solace there. I was going through a post tonight, and the lady talked about how the church, religious houses are filled with women who are broken and only go to church to seek solace, to pray, because the society has made them understand that the only place you can get solace is praying. I'm not saying prayer does not work. I am a born again Christian, and I believe so much in prayers. I have seen the power of prayers personally in my life. But why should it all be prayers? What happens to putting systems and structures in place that can support these women? What happens? So many of them have been strong for too long. They just need a shoulder to cry on. Some of them don't even need you to give them anything. They are fine. They just need someone to rant to. They just need someone to speak to. They just need someone they can be fragile around. They don't want to be strong every time. They are strong in front of their children. They are strong in front of responsibilities. They are strong in front of society. And they still come back to the family and they are still strong. They come to the faith communities they call their own and they are still strong. Meanwhile, they are breaking down inside. We stigmatize these women, and in turn we stigmatize the children. Women that should be understood are being judged. They are being blamed for something that is not their cause. Even if it is their cause. Should we play the blame game? Yoruba will say, Ori bibe kon ni ogun ori fifo. You don't cut off the head because the person has headache. So let's assume she became a single mother simply because she made a mistake. Yes, it's a mistake. Was it Whitney Houston that said something? She said, my mistakes are not worse than yours just because I am a woman. So they are not worse than yours. Instead of treating them like humans, they are being threatened every day. And their children are watching and they are internalizing this pain. We keep stigmatizing the children, stigmatizing the mothers, and the children keep internalizing the pain. Martin Luther King Jr. said something. He said, a threat to justice anywhere is injustice everywhere. So the moment there is a threat to justice somewhere, that's injustice. So we cannot keep on stigmatizing these women. We cannot continue because they are not the only ones bearing the brunt of it. The children they raise are also bearing the brunt. And as the children are bearing the brunt, our society is in turn bearing the brunt. We need to begin to understand the children too, because we need to break the cycle early. Like I said earlier, most of these children are often stereotyped as broken. They're often stereotyped as being troubled. They're often stereotyped as being disadvantaged. When two children make mistakes, you correct the other child. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. But the child from the broken home, it's because of the absence of a father figure. We have forgotten that what a child really needs to grow is structure, love, stability, safety, support. And all these things are not necessarily gotten in a home that has a father and a mother. I'm not saying that that's not the proper way it should be. Yes, the proper way it should be is that a child should have his father and his mother actively in his life. But is that what is obtainable now in our society? We see homes with the father, the mother, and the children, but it's hotter than the war zone. And the children daily, you hear things like, I'm never going to get married because of the way my dad treated my mom. You hear things like, I'm never going to allow any man treat me the way my dad treated my mom. Because that's the way they see, that's the thing they see their father do to their mom. It could be vice versa. You hear things like, I will never allow any woman do to me what my mom did to my dad. So it's not just in homes with the father and the mother that a child gets the support that is needed. Sometimes these children get them even in single parent households. Yes. And that is the more reason why we should not stereotype those children. So you begin to hear things like, oh, it's because the father is absent, that's why he's doing like this. It's because he does not have a father figure in his life, that's why he's doing like this. The ones that have father figures in their lives, please, how many difference has it made in their lives? We see children from affluent homes. We see children from homes where there is father, there is mother. I've heard of children whose parents are the ones that went to register them to learn how to do fraud. I've heard of parents that children whose parents are the ones that introduce them to people who will introduce them into prostitution. So let's cancel the ideology of once a child does not have one parent, or once one parent is out of the picture, then that child cannot become anything in life. It is very good for a child to grow up in a home where there is a father and there is a mother. I grew up in such, and I know what it means. I know how beautiful it is when both parents actually dwell in love and both hands are on deck. But for the families that do not have this luxury, because to some it has become a luxury, we need to understand that the fact that they cannot afford it does not necessarily mean that they should be written off. Let's look at some examples of children who grew up in single parent households but still made it in life. Number one, former President Barack Obama. He grew up with a single mom and at some point had to even live with his grandparents. Despite his father being an absent father and the mother had to step in the gap, and thank God also for the support of the grandparents. The rest is history. We know who he is today. An African boy rising to become the President of America. I once spoke about Ben Carson. Ben Carson had a single mom. She was not even well learned. But despite that, she ensured that her son realizes his potentials. She did not let that stop her from giving her best to him and his brothers. Michael Phelps. After the divorce of his parents, Michael Phelps had to be raised by his mom single-handedly. And thanks to his mom, who supported his swimming career, the rest is history. Alicia Keys, another example of someone who had to be brought up by her mother after the separation of her parents. She also made it, and that's why we can call her name today. Bill Clinton, another former president of America, also grew up with his mom after the separation. He rose to become the president of the most powerful nation in the world. At least as at that time, China was not contesting it. Our beloved Cristiano Ronaldo was also raised by a single mom. His father was an alcoholic, so they were not really separated. But his father was an alcoholic, so it was equal to not being there. But the woman stood in the gap. She could have said, you are the responsibility of your father. If he does not do anything, that's your business. He won't be here today. We will not be shouting. Sometimes even my students come to class in the morning and they are discussing football. You know, and I have to like, okay guys, it's time to learn. Save the gist for break time. Because a woman stood in the gap. Oprah Winfrey. We all know the story of Oprah Winfrey. She also grew up with a single mother. Poverty-stricken background. Thank God for the support of her grandma. Mariah Carey, another example. These are people we can easily identify. Halle Berry, LeBron James, even our very own Pastor Jerry Eze. These are people who grew up with single mothers. So we can see that it's not about the number of parents. It's more about the strength of parenting. It's not about having both parents on ground. It's good having both parents on ground. Yes, if they would really put in the work. So it's not really about the number of parents. It's about the strength of the parenting. So we need to stop the stigmatization that once a child is growing in a single parent family, or a child is growing in a single parent home, or a child is being brought up by a single parent, then there is no hope for the child. We need to stop making them feel bad. We need to stop making them feel less of themselves. We need to stop making them internalize pain. These rights must be protected. Single parents deserve equal employment opportunity. Stop denying them. We really need to stop denying them equal employment opportunity. Sometimes the moment some employers get to know that, oh, this person is a single parent, or maybe separated or divorced or so, and is a woman, a single mother, they're like, oh, what do we want to, what are we trying to portray? What are we trying to say? But the same thing would not come to play if it were to be a man. So we need to give them equal employment opportunity. In Sweden, they try to provide affordable childcare for women so they could be able to pursue their careers. So they try to make it easy for these women to pursue whatever career they want to pursue. So they don't have to think about, how do I take care of my children? Because they know that they need to pursue this career to be able to take care of the children. So they make it easy for them. So if we make it easy for them, for these single mothers to actually pursue a career, they will be able to take care of their children better. And that's why we need to provide them equal employment opportunity. We need to provide them legal protection from discrimination. When you go on social media, you begin to hear a lot of things about single mothers. You hear a whole lot of things. And that was why I said they are being spoken about a lot. But how many people are speaking for them? They are being spoken about a lot. A lot of discrimination against them. Yes, they might have failed. And some of them did not. Some of them are only suffering for the failure of some men. Not all of them actually got into that position because they failed. And that's why we need to have legal protection for them against discrimination. Mental health support. Mental health support. I cannot emphasize on this enough. Like I said earlier, there are times when they just need to drop everything and breathe. Our president said, let the poor breathe. This one is not let the poor breathe now. It's let the single mothers breathe. There are times they need to breathe. They need to breathe. They need to breathe. They've been strong for too long. They need to breathe. Not because they are tired of carrying on, no. But you know, sometimes when you've been strong for so long, you just want to rest a while. But how do you want to rest a while? Who wants to take over when you're resting? Because parenting is a 24-hour watch. Who wants to take over after your shift? There's nobody to take over. So because of that, you just need to rest. You need to breathe. But then, how do you breathe? And that's why we need to create systems. We need to create systems to support them. We need to create systems to support single mothers. Free access to therapy. Community where they can be vulnerable. Give them mental health support. Because the burnout is real. The depression is real. And the anxiety is real. It is real. It is real. I can tell you that firsthand. It is real. There was a time I said something to my children. I said, I feel like sleeping. I feel like hibernating. Human beings don't hibernate, do we? Except we want to go into coma. I said, I feel like hibernating. Can I just sleep by December and wake by maybe April or maybe you know. And because that was actually how I feel, I said, can I just sleep by December? I remember it was around December, ending of the year. I said, can I just sleep? Maybe sleep by now and wake by April, or maybe by May. I feel like by then I would have built enough energy to move on, to carry on. The depression is real. It is. There are times when I would sit down and in my mind of mine, I'll just be like, can somebody just go and rest? You're about to say, Ojo Kul Ojo say, the day of death is the day you rest. So even if that is it, can somebody just rest? And I'll just jack myself back. Come back here. What kind of rest is that? Come on, come back to your senses. Come off it. The anxiety is real. The depression is real. The burnout is real. There was a time I got to a point of burnout, and I told my boss I'm resigning. And they looked at me, my HR looked at me, and he said, no, we can't allow you go. First they said, why are you going? Did you get a better offer? I said, no. Did you do something to make you decide you want to go? I said, no, it's not about you. He said, so why do you want to go? I said, I need to rest. I said, I just want to rest. And I cannot tell you to give me time off to rest, because I can't tell you this is the amount of time I need to rest. And it's not fair on you for me to just go indefinitely like it's my father's business. And so because of that, to help you and to also help myself, because I still need to rest, I would like to go. And my HR looked at me. I said, okay, we'll do something for you. Why don't you take some time off? Come back. If you take 1 week off, and let's see how you feel after 1 week. Thankfully, coincidentally, the 1 week fell around my break time. And for that 1 week, I slept. I intentionally slept. I slept for the whole of the 1 week. I did not do anything apart from sleeping, waking, eating, take my bath, go back to bed. I did not think about work. I did not think about anything. I was just sleeping. And then they also said, okay, another thing we'll do for you, we'll register you for therapy. Speak to a therapist. Let's see how it goes. If after your sessions you still don't feel like you want to stay, then we'll let you go. I said, okay, that's fine. I went for my sessions, spoke with my therapist. My therapist was like, I don't know what to do to you, because all the advice I want to give you, you're already doing them. I said, I know, because I'm very intentional, but I just need someone to speak to. My head is full and I need to unleash it. So she allowed me unleash everything. By the end of my sessions, my HR asked me, how are you feeling? Do you think you still want to go? I said, nah, I feel much better. I feel lighter. And I think I can carry on now. Mental support. How many people actually get that support? How many? And that is why we need to offer support. We need to offer support, because the depression is real. It is real. I remember there was also a time when, before I went to my HR, that I was resigning. I fell into a very bad depression, to the extent that I had already said my final prayer. As in, it was that bad. I said my last prayer and I said, at this point, I think I'm good. I'm fine. I can't do this anymore. And then my youngest sister did something. She was busy because she was running her MBA, so she couldn't come to my house. She called her fiance, go to her house, go and pick her, take her to my parents' place. And the fiance came to my house. He said, I'm here to pick you up. I said, no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm fine. He said, I'm fine. He said, I know you're fine, but I'm still going to pick you. So he picked me and took me to my parents' place. And the moment my immediate elder sister heard that I was on my way to my parents' place, she left whatever she was doing wherever she was, told her husband she's not coming home for the number of days she does not know, because I'm not fine and she needed to be with me. And she came to my parents' place and she was there for like how many days. And all together they dragged me out of that state of depression. And I look at myself afterwards and I'm like, I should have been dead. I knew it, because I had gotten to that level where I wasn't even willing to continue anymore. But because I had support. How many people have this support? How many people? So when we talk about mental health support, it's not my mental health that they shout on social media these days. It goes deeper. It runs deeper. Sometimes people look at you and you just feel like, what is it? What is it? And if you're not strong on your own to stand, you will be long gone before they realize some of the things you were going through, and they'll now start talking it. They will still not accept their blame. That's just life for you. The ones that are dead, they say, why did she speak up? And the ones that spoke up, they will still have something to say. I went through it myself. I hear things like, Modelo She. She's just a child. She does not know what marriage is about. And then I looked at it, okay, I think the best way to solve this matter is to just keep your mouth shut and just do your thing. So I was just there, doing my thing. And by the time they started becoming aware of some of the things I was going through, they started shouting, ha, is this what you've been going through? Is this what you've been enduring? And you didn't talk, and you did. What was I doing before? I was singing. That's human beings for you. That's for you to know that we don't have enough mental support in the society we find ourselves. And it's not just, when I say society, I'm not just talking about Nigeria. It's all around the world. Women do not have enough mental health support. They're not given enough. And that's why you hear things like, the good child is for the father, the bad child is for the mother. Parenting support networks. I already shared my story about the kind of support I enjoyed from my own immediate family. But then apart from that, we can have some support networks that can support these single mothers in their parenting. we one thing we enjoy in Nigeria especially is the fact that yes, our families, our extended family, our parents are on ground to help us do some things. So we can always say, oh, go to grandma, oh, go to this person, oh, go to this auntie, go to this uncle, or go to this brother, or go to this sister. That's one of the things we enjoy in Nigeria. But in other countries out there, it's not the same. And the cost of childcare is a lot. It's a lot. And that's why single mothers need parental support. They need support in being able to take care of their children so they can fight for their own lives. And because in turn they are able to still fight for those children's lives. For these children that are born in this kind of homes, they need support in school. They need to be supported so that they don't get bullied in school. We see situation in in countries like South Korea, where children come from single families are bullied in school. Heavy bullying. Simply because they come from single parent homes. So child support enforcement should be done. Also, for absent fathers, now in cases whereby the fathers are still alive, but they've absconded from their responsibilities, an enforcement should be made so that these fathers get to do the responsibilities. There are some fathers, they are still married to the mothers. They are not separated, they are not divorced, but they will be at home, wait for the woman to go and work, and when she comes back, bring the money. If she does not bring the money, she's calling for trouble. And this is the same money that the woman will still use to train the children. He will not contribute. So child support should be enforced. There should be family courts where these matters can be deliberated. Some countries already have family courts, but there is no enforcement. There's practically little or no enforcement. Even our culture is not even helping matters. You hear things like we cannot come back from the court and become friends, so don't take him to court too. Because by the time you come back now, you cannot take the father of your child to court, or you cannot take him to court now, and then you expect peace. We are the ones encouraging all this negativity in our society. So the children should be free from bullying or stigma. We need to train the society afresh, beginning from our children. Train them that there are different types of families now. It's not just father, mother, and the children. There are some families that is just the father and the children. There are some families that is just mother and the children. And there are some families that are blended families. The mother having some children or a child from another marriage, father from another marriage, and then coming together to become one big happy family. It's possible. But because some of these things are not taught, that's why when you see blended families, the children do not even open up to one another, because they believe that you're a stranger to me. They've not been taught, they've not been helped to understand that it goes now beyond father, mother, and children. But when this kind of training is being given, it helps them to understand that, yes, even if I come from a family of father, mother, and children, I'm privileged. It's a privilege, because those ones that do not come from that kind of family, they have not done anything wrong to deserve it. And that is why equal treatment should be given to them. And they should not be bullied for situations that they have not caused on their own. Children should be given access to stable welfare and protection services. The children from those homes should be given access to stable welfare and protection services. Policies should be made to shield them, be it in the school, in the society, in the community. Policies should be made to shield them. You need to have access to educational and emotional support. Children from single parent homes should not have to lose opportunities because they are from single parent homes. They shouldn't have to. See situation whereby opportunities are being given, and then by the time they begin to fill their forms and it's just a single parent and maybe divorced or separated or something, they lose that opportunity because they don't have the perfect picture of the family that they want to portray. That should not be the case. They should have safe spaces to express themselves. You see, children from single parent homes, they are kind of, because of the stereotype and the bullying and the way people look down on them, they cannot easily express themselves. Especially when everybody is talking about my daddy, or my mommy, but they don't have a father, or they don't have a mother, or they don't even have both. And they begin to coil up into their shells. Children that are not naturally introverts suddenly become introverted because of what the society is pushing down their throat. Safe spaces should be given to them to express themselves. There should be the dignity. They should enjoy the dignity of being seen as individuals and not as stereotypes. We see families that when their child brings a wife home, or even a husband home, and the child is from a single family, you say, is that the family you want to marry into? I've even heard something like, the child of a single mother can never keep a marriage because the mother could not keep a marriage. That's the height of it. It's the height of it. So they should not be boxed into stereotypes. They should be seen as individuals. Let's stop seeing people by their challenges, by their problems. Let's see them as individuals. I once talked about Albert Einstein in one of my speeches, and about how he not only was seen as a problem, his problem was named after him, Einstein syndrome. That's the height of it. The fact that someone has a challenge and then you now name the challenge after the person. That's just the height of it. So we need to begin to see these children as individuals, not as stereotypes. We need to understand that society that denies this right, the rights of our people, weakens its own foundation. And that's why today we have a society with a weak foundation. Now, why does it matter for the society to support this set of people, the single mothers and their children. We need to understand that support to them is not charity. You're not doing them any favor. Not at all. It is nation building. So when you're supporting single mothers, you're supporting the children they have, you're not doing, it's not a charity job, it's not a charity business. So it's not something that because you're doing now, you carry camera so that you can put on social media so that they can see that you're helping out. No, you're not doing them favors at all. It's not charity. It's not a charity thing. It's nation building. And it is a strategic investment. An investment into our future. Why do I say it's a strategic investment? Every child is a national asset. Because my people would say, you've seen where an adult has gotten to, but you don't know where a child is going. You don't know the future that lies ahead of that child. So every child is a national asset. Because you can't even begin to fathom the potentials they carry. Every single parent is a contributor to the economy. Whatever job they do, no matter how small, they are contributing to the economy of the country. And that's why every single household you support, you're reducing poverty, you're reducing the likelihood of crime. Because these children, when well supported, will not fall into crime. Most of them fall into crime because the society does not expect any other thing from them. And they'll just be like, oh, you already think I am bad, so I might as well just be bad. So for every supported single parent home, you are reducing the likelihood of poverty. You are reducing the likelihood of crime. You are reducing the likelihood of social instability. You see countries like Finland, they provide things like child well-being. Countries like Canada, they have child support, which goes a long way in supporting the family. Countries like Singapore, they provide housing and financial support to homes. These things go a long way to reduce the burden of the single parents. And it goes a long way in helping the children have access to a better life. It goes a long way. So we need to support them. We need to support them in the workforce. Support them via proper education system. Support them through national development. Because when we support these single mothers, we are supporting the next generation. Because that support goes to their children, and we are building our future. We are building our society. But we need to understand also that ignoring them is very costly. Because like I said, when we support them, we are building the next generation of leaders. We've already seen some examples of children that grew up in single parent homes. And we've seen the height at which they were able to reach. Because they got the appropriate support. Supporting them can be highly transformative. So we need to really, really support them. Because when one household rises, the community rises. And when the community rises, the society rises. And when the society rises, the nation rises. And what are the roles of schools in giving out this support that we've mentioned? Schools need to understand that they can heal or wound. Depends on what they do. And that's why they have to be intentional. They have to be intentional. We have cases where in schools children's family backgrounds are mocked. We've seen situations where teachers, students turn it into a gist. They turn it into a gist. Oh, this child. Oh, so this child is from a single family. Oh, this child does not have a father. Oh, this child does not have a mother. Oh, this. Oh. Not discussion out of concern. I'll try gist. Just for entertainment purposes. We've seen situations where they suddenly assume that a child is wayward simply because the child is from a single family home. And that's why he's stubborn, does not have a father at home. Because that's how the mother too does. Assumption. I've already said it before. Over and over. Assumption is the lowest level of intelligence. So they suddenly assume that this child cannot do any good, or nothing good can come out of this child's Nazareth, simply because the child is from a single family home. We see cases whereby schools exclude parents who cannot afford to attend day meetings. If your parent cannot come for the meeting, that's the end. And I'm like, excuse me, what happens to technology? What happens to taking the meeting on Zoom? And I have this issue a lot. Excuse me, I have to work. Why do I have to leave my work to come for a meeting, and then you go for the meeting and then they are doing African time? Excuse me, there is technology, and make use of it. What happens to putting this meeting online? Let those that want to come in, and let those that cannot come in join online. We still all get the information. But no, they want to make you feel like if you are not there physically, you are not a responsible parent. And they rub it in on the child. And because your parent did not come for the meeting, then your parent is not interested in your future. They are being very irresponsible. And I laugh. So schools need to understand that they can heal and they can wound. And that's why schools need to begin to intentionally empower teachers to protect children from bullying and labeling. Teachers should begin to see children, especially children from these single family homes, as learners and not labels. That child that has no father, that child that has no mother, was that the name the child was christened with? So they need to begin to see them as learners and not labels. They need to begin to protect these children from stigma by putting policies in place. Their family structure should not determine the experience they face in school. Every child is in school to learn. So the same way you're giving optimum experience to the child from a full family, or from that picture perfect family, give that same optimum experience to that child from a single family home. Their family structure should not determine their experience. Our faith communities, churches, mosques, traditionalist homes, we need to stop judging. Instead of judging, let's counsel. Let us counsel. If not for the rise of lots of deaths arising from violence in marriages, that is now making some religious bodies begin to speak up against violence in marriages. Before now, they were not. No matter what you're going through, stay put. Because God does not like divorce. They've forgotten that it is divorce God does not like. He does not hate divorcees. You're in an environment where your life is continually threatened, and all they can say is God bless you. God will see you through. No wonder we see women in churches, in mosques today praying for a new husband. They're not asking for a new man. They're only asking for God to change the one they have. Praying that he would be faithful. Praying that he would become present. Praying that he would come home. Praying that he would be the man that they actually got married to. Praying that he will be a responsible father to the children they both have. And they keep praying, hoping upon hope. But nobody is speaking to the man. Only the woman. A good woman built her home. But the foolish one tears it down. What happens to a good man? What does a good man do? What does a foolish man do? Nobody speaks about that. We have more women conferences than men conferences. People are speaking to the women. Who is speaking to the men? And after the women have learned all that they need to learn, they come back home to the men that are not trained. Nobody is speaking to them. And before you say one thing, you hear, I am the man. Do you know who I am? They need to begin to counsel and not judge. They need to begin to stop excluding women who, quote and unquote, are falling, have failed. Because single parenthood is not failure. Instead, they need to help them to socially belong. Help them understand that it's not a failure. In fact, it is a strength that they are carrying the burden that two people are supposed to carry. And they're carrying it all alone. They need to stop shaming. They need to begin to restore these women. The motto of my school says to restore the dignity of man. They need to begin to restore the dignity of these women. Stop shaming them. Stop making them feel like they're not enough. Stop making them feel like it's their fault that they are in that situation. Offer support, emotional support, mental support, financial support if need be. Offer support. Counsel them. Communities need to begin to provide support networks. Provide support networks. In those days, in the days of our fathers, they'll say it takes a community to build a child. It goes beyond that word or that sentence, it takes a community to build a child. Underneath that saying is the fact that everyone comes together to support one another. But where is the support today? Everyone has gone their separate ways to mind their own business. We need to provide support networks. Sometimes All that single mother needs is a place to keep her child till she goes to work and come back. If you are available to help, kindly help. Support networks. Even as family, we see some people don't even have the support of family members. If I don't tell you I'm a single mother, you won't know. I'm able to rise above it because I enjoy the support of my family members. Days when my children were little, I could leave them and travel out of the country to look for greener pastures for them because I am sure they are safe. I don't have to think about what have they eaten because I know they are in safe hands. I know they are in safe hands. I'm able to pursue my career because I know that if I need any support, I can always get. I've been here for over many days. Courtesy that support. They need support. They need all the support they can get. Provide support networks. Create safe spaces. A single mother should not have to walk into the society and all she hears is, she has bought a car. Who knows the chief that bought the car for her now? Is the chief a car dealer? When did we turn making money to a gender-based thing? When? Who says she couldn't have worked hard? Genuine work, and she could have gotten that money to take care of herself, take care of her children, and even bought the car. Who says? But the moment she walks in, she's looking prim and proper, the children are looking very fine. You look at her, who knows what she's doing? She wants to come and visit you. Don't come, oh. You're like, before she come and collect my husband. Excuse me. What's up? Create safe spaces for them. Not spaces where you whisper a lot of derogatory things behind them. Create safe spaces for them. Stop all these harmful narratives. I cannot allow a single mother to rent my house so that she will not turn it into a brothel and she'll start bringing different men to my house. Even married women, if they want to do, won't they do? We hear things, we see things. Men who go out of their wedlock to be unfaithful to their wives. We see things, we hear things, but who says anything about them? So we need to stop all these harmful narratives. We need to stop it. We need to start celebrating their resilience. Because it takes a woman of strength to actually stand. It takes a lot of strength to stand. So we need to celebrate their resilience. We need to stop shaming their circumstances. Stop the shaming and start celebrating their resilience. And to our government and policy makers, we need good policies. Because good policies can change lives faster than speeches would. So it's not just those speeches that they make during campaign. After the campaign, after we voted you in, we need good policies. Intentionally include single parent households in your policies. Because when you're not intentional about it, then they would be excluded as they have always been. We need to protect our single parents, single fathers, single mothers, children from single families. We need to protect them. Get out sustainable policies that will help. Parental leave for parents, especially single parents, paid parental leave. I remember there was a time that one of my sons was sick and I had to be absent from work for like a week. I took permission. I could not go to work because I had to take care of him. So after he got better, the second one fell sick and I took another permission again. And they said, okay, we understood that I don't have anybody to take care of him. I said, okay, fine, take care of him. I took care of him. After that one got better, the third one fell sick again. And I had to take care of him again. He said, go ahead, take care of him. I took care of him. And by the time the third one got better, because I had been the one doing it back to back, I now fell sick. So at the end of everything, in the whole of the month, I went to work only twice. So by the time I resumed, normally they were supposed to pay me for 2 days. But instead they flipped it. Deducted money for 2 days and gave me the rest. That's the support we're talking about. If they were not supportive, I would have lost my job. And if I had lost my job, how would I have been able to single-handedly take care of 3 children in this economy? And that's why we need support. Let's understand that these people do not have all the support they can get. So all the support we can give, let us give. Let's give subsidy for childcare, especially for single parents. Because unlike the household where there is the father pulling in resources, there is the mother pulling in resources. In this kind of house, they are the only ones pulling in all the resources. So definitely there's going to be a gap. So let's have subsidy for childcare for them. Let's have subsidy. Probably subsidized schooling. It will go a long way to help them. Flexible working conditions, because they are still the only one having to be the breadwinner, be the homemaker, be everything for the children, in as much as they bring the bread in. Let's create flexible working conditions for them. If it's a job that they can do without having to come in 5 days a week, can we cut them some slack? Okay. If you can do remote, fine. If it's a job they can do remotely, by all means, let them do remotely. If it's not the one they can do remotely, if it's an hybrid condition you want to give to them, give them hybrid. Let them do hybrid. But give them flexible working condition. And if it is something that they have to come in all the time, if you need to give them earlier closing hours so that they can be there for their children, let's consider that. Educational grants. Apart from the subsidized educational rates I mentioned earlier, educational grants is another one. I've seen cases where in the Western world there are scholarships and grants solely for single mothers. They do that in the Western world very well. Solely for single mothers. It's that's the criteria. You qualify for it if you are a single mother. If you're not, you don't qualify. Let's bring this to our own society. Let's bring it to our country. Let's begin to have grants to help single parents, not just single mothers now, single fathers too, because they need to take care of their children. Let's make these grants available to them so that they don't lose this opportunity basically because of their household structure. Access to justice in cases of neglect or abandonment. I talked about this earlier. Our family courts, let them begin to work. Let them begin to work. And in cases where the family courts do not even do not exist, let's begin to create one that works, so that they can get justice, especially for single parents whose other partner is still alive and not doing anything, so they can get justice for the neglect and the abandonment. I talked about protection from workplace discrimination. Let government give policies that will protect especially women, because they are the ones that go through this a lot. Workplace discrimination. We should put in place policies that will protect them from workplace discrimination. It's not that they have to be asking you, where would you keep your children? So who will attend to your children when you attain this position? Who is going to? These are questions they don't ask the men. So government should put policies in place to protect women from this kind of discrimination. Because when they protect families, the families become stronger. And when the family becomes stronger, our future becomes stronger. My vision for the future. I look forward to a society where someone walks into the room, where a single parent walks into the room without shame and with dignity. I look forward to a future where a child from a single parent household is being celebrated for their potential and not pitied. It would have been nice for him to have a father in his life. If not, no. I look forward to that future where these children are being celebrated for their potentials and they are not pitied. I look forward to a future where a child from a single parent household can write an essay about my family. Just the single parents and the children, with dignity, and not feel bad that I don't have a father or I don't have a mother. I look forward to that kind of future where employers recognize resilience and discipline in these single parents, because it takes a resilience and discipline to be a single parent, to be a responsible one. It takes resilience to keep holding on and not giving up. So I look forward to that future where they would actually recognize this resilience. I look forward to a future where schools become safe spaces for every child, where no child is being bullied simply because of the structure of their homes, where no child is being made to feel bad simply because they don't have a father or they don't have a mother. I look forward to a future where communities become support systems and not courts of judgment, not gossip parlors, but instead the support system that they used to be. I look forward to a future where policies will begin to address the real needs, not stereotypes. And this vision that I have for the future is not impossible. It just begins with awareness. And that's why I'm here, to make us aware of the plight of this set of people who people speak about but they don't speak for. It grows with advocacy, and that's why we need more people to arise and begin to advocate for this set of people who the society has relegated to the background. It becomes a reality through deliberate action. We have to be intentional about creating safe spaces and being a support system to those people. And to all single parents like myself, you're not alone. You're not inadequate. You're not less than you are. Instead, you are powerful. You are capable. Your journey is valid. Your struggle is not your identity. Your sacrifice matters. And your labor is seen. To every child from a single parent home, your story is not a disadvantage. It is not. It is a strength. It is one of the things that will build you. My eldest son said something one day. He said, I have come to understand that whatever it is we have been through and we are still going through is forming a part of my story. And it is one of the things I will tell the world when I get up there. So you're not at a disadvantage. It is a testimony of your strength. And I want you to understand that you are not behind your family struggle. You are not the reason why your family is the way they are. In case they have been telling you you are the source of their problems, no, you're not. You are not behind your family struggle. You are enough. You are worthy. You can rise. You can lead. You can build. You can heal. And you can succeed. And finally, to the society, let us build a world where every parent is supported. A world where every child is protected. A home that is treated with dignity. Don't ask if they deserve help. No, that's not the question we should be asking. The question we should be asking instead is, can the society afford to ignore them? That's the question we should be asking. Can we afford to ignore this set of people? No, we cannot afford it. It's too expensive. We cannot afford it. And let us remember that whenever we uplift a single parent, we are uplifting a child. And whenever we uplift a child, we are uplifting our world. I hope with this little speech of mine, I have been able to help you to understand that single parenthood is not a failure. Instead, it is a strength. They are not a set of people to be looked down upon. Instead, they are a set of people to be celebrated, to be supported. The children are not a set of people to be stereotyped. They are a set of people that we need to build up. Because when we build up the single parent family, we are building our world. Thank you very much. And on this note, I will be passing on the mic on to the next speaker.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for such a wonderful and vulnerable piece of presentation. Thank you for sharing. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
So